Everything you just saw in the intro was animated without a single keyframe.
Come again.
Without a single keyframe.
Come on, show me.
It was made possible with my plugin, Keyflow. And so I recently updated Keyflow. In this video, I'm gonna go over what's new. So right from the effects panel, you type in Keyflow, and you'll find all the presets. Here you'll find the master preset, which is just Keyflow and 2.5, which is the first thing that's new. Keyflow 2.5D actually uses the DVE node within Fusion, which is a node that allows you to kind of manipulate certain elements in somewhat of a 3D space. Previously, all this was wrapped into one preset, which caused actually performance issues, so I separated into two different presets. I'm gonna make a copy of this text here. This text is actually utilizing a combination of the presets. So the 2.5D causes it to zoom in and then flip around. Then right at the end, it fades out. So now if I go into the Inspector tab, click on Effects, you'll see the 2.5D XYZ, which is one of the presets. It has the X, Y, Z axis all activated, creating the animation. So going up here, you have the master controls, which is basically your center, your pivot, and your Z pivot. You have the animation controls. So you have the in and out controls. This basically telling the preset I want to animate in and animate out. As you can see here, I turned the animation out off. I got it set to around about 29 frames, and the animation in start and out start, those create delays. And so if I didn't want the animation to start at the very beginning, I can turn this up to create a delay. So now it's gonna wait about 20 frames before the animation actually starts. Each one of the different parameters have the same controls. So if your start position, your end position, your easing, and your in and out animation curves. If you hit the drop down on the easing, you can go to custom, and you can create your own custom curves if you want to. So for the Z position, I have it set at 0, which causes it to basically be completely off frame. And then the end position is basically gonna zoom into 1. So if I actually cut off Y and X, or X and Y, it should do a basic zoom. And something else new is the source control. So if you go up here, right here, you see source, and set to custom. If I change it to duration, it will cause the animation to last for the duration of that clip. So as it zooms in, it's gonna slow down over time, but it will continue to animate to the end of that clip. Now it does have the option for transition. As far as I can tell, it doesn't do anything particularly different. This drop-down menu comes from the Atom Curves modifier, so it's just there by default. Another new feature is Smart Motion Blur. So basically, motion blur is only active when something's actually animated. This allows for not only faster render times, but also smoother performance when editing. Then up here, you have your mirror animation and your invert animation. You click this, it just invert the animation, so it starts from the back and then zoom all the way through. Which is a cool thing with this as well. When I zoom it in, I can go over here and change the pivot point, which if I hit this little drop down, I can go to Fusion Overlay. I can actually see the pivot point, or I can just grab it right here on the screen. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rearrange this to line up with that gap in the K right here. So then when it zooms all the way through, so I'm gonna move it over just a little bit more, move it up on the Y axis. That way it's zooming through the letter, even though it does fade out a little bit right before the end of the composition. Now there's a checkbox for mirror animation. That is only to be used when you're in the duration source mode. So with source set to duration, if I check the mirror animation, so then it'll zoom in, it'll hold the animation for a few frames or so, and then zoom back out. Now this is nothing new, but with the optimized performance, you can mix and match the presets a lot better now. So I'm using the in animation for the 2.5D preset. If I go down here and click on the blur fade, I only have the out animation checked on this one. So that allows me to have the out animation be the blur fade. The blur and fade effects are actually two new effects added to Keyflow. So the blur control has this blur scale, and then fade has this animation curves, which is just to affect the way the fade out looks, which is giving me the in animation. Controls here are more or less the same. You have your master transform controls. So here I can move the center, increase and decrease the size if I want to, rotate the angle, then I can mirror the edges or wrap or duplicate the edges using the edge control. The animation controls are exactly the same. On the Keyflow presets, the motion blur is a little bit different, so you activate it here. You still have to change the controls. Then you have size. Once again, you have the start and end controls. The main one being different is position. It has the angle control here. Then you have camera shape. It has the X and Y, rotation, randomness, and speed control. Now, once you've created your own unique animation, you can export it out to create your own presets. This is nothing new, but I just want to highlight it again. So go to export. So first you're gonna hit auto detect. This will basically detect all the different features and changes that you make within the preset. Then go up here and give it a name. So I'm gonna give it, I'm call it Keyflow 1 blur test. Then I'm gonna go down here to export. Now, unfortunately, with the newer version of DaVinci Resolve, the thumbnail feature is not working, but it still will export out the preset. Now, as long as everything goes right, you'll see this little green text here. Then you can go over here to your effects panel, which you can see mine updated. Just type in Keyflow and you can see the preset I created right here. Now you can see the preset that I made is right here in the effects panel. This plugin brings the animation power of Fusion to the edit page, but also if you're like me, you like to work in Fusion, I included the dot setting files for Keyflow and Keyflow 2.5D. that you can use in Fusion. So I'm gonna open up Fusion now. Then I'm gonna go down here into the little numbers down here and double click. It's gonna open up this little secret Fusion settings menu. Then go to Path Map. Then you're gonna scroll down to Macro. I'm gonna scroll down to Macros right here. Right click and select the first option, to show folder. This is gonna open up the macros folder for you. So now if I go back to the initial Keyflow folder, I can double click here and you'll see Keyflow and 2.5D. You're gonna select those, right click, copy, then go back to your macro folder and paste. So now I'm gonna right click and paste. I'm gonna close that out and go back to this menu here. I'm gonna hit save. So now what this is gonna do is while you're in Fusion, instead of having to go to and grab a transform node, set a keyframe, mess with the spline and all this stuff, you can just use Keyflow. So while in Fusion, you control space. You can then type in Keyflow and the presets are there. So I hit enter, then I'm gonna hold shift and just add it to my node tree. Then I can animate and do everything I want to within Fusion utilizing Keyflow. Going down here to the bottom, you do have these additional add-ons. You have the glow control, glow effect. If you turn up the cease rate, it has different animations on it. So you see there's animating out. And of course, all that can be tweaked and adjusted with utilizing different effects. But turn that off, and then you have the drop shadow. You have this lens blur effect, which kind of creates like a vignette. Basically it makes it easier for you to highlight something on screen. You have a paper edge effect, so add like these little paper tears around the edges of whatever you apply it to, and then you have a background. Right now it's set to gradient, but you can hit the drop down, change it back to solid color. Right now the alpha's all the way down, so I'm gonna turn it all the way up. It's gonna give it a black color. I can turn it all the way up, turn the red all the way up, turn it red, or hit this little box here, and then just select the color. Now, if you upgraded to Resolve 21, I think it's beta 3 is the newest one that's out right now, and you experience any problems with any of my past editing packs, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below, or hit me up on my Discord in the need help section. The link will be in the description. So far, the few bugs and glitches people have had, from what I can tell, are just glitches within the beta itself. Beta 3 is promising to be a little bit more stable. I haven't had any actual major glitches or any problems in none of my editing packs or none of the preset packs or anything I've bought or created myself I've had any major problems with. So as far as I can tell, it's just little bugs and hiccups here and there. I'll leave a link in the description where you can get Keyflow and TextFlow in a bundle. That pretty much cover all your animation needs. Or if you want, you can just pick up Keyflow by itself and get $10 off by using code KEY10. If you like today's video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.